Hey everyone, we're joined here with Miss Mary Laurent from SLEMCO. She is the communications manager here at SLEMCO, and she's here to help out and answer some questions y'all had from the Facebook post. So thank you, Miss Mary, for letting us spend time with you. So we have a question from a resident, Amir. She said, did SLEMCO upgrade their system that they didn't have to read the meters monthly? And why was that not working for the storm? The weather was not that bad in our area.
Okay, first of all, we do have to read the meters monthly at every location, but we don't have to go to every location. So the equipment that we have, they are able to capture the readings from about a quarter of a mile away. And on that particular day, that was the Monday after Hurricane Barry passed through, we still had a lot of people without power, and we had a lot of people in from out of state who were restoring power. So the meter readers who would have been reading in that area on cycle 13 for that particular day were reassigned to storm duty. There may not have been any damage in that cycle 13 area, but our duty and our obligation when we have a hurricane come through is to get everybody's power restored as quickly as possible, and we worry about billing second, because if the next hurricane comes through and the community of Mir is without power, I can promise you we will be working to restore people's power, not reading somebody's meter.
Okay, so that answers that question, and we have another one. A question from someone. They said, I would like to ask them to make it more pronounced on a bill in the future if it's not an estimated bill. I didn't even notice on my bill until someone pointed it out to me.
Okay, and that was something too, and I have to say, we're very good about if we can do things better in the future, we want to do that. This was our first hurricane since we've had social media, so there was probably a couple of things that we could have done differently. First of all, on the bill, the bills did show that they were estimated. And there's also a box on the top of the bills that in the future, if we have to estimate any cycles, the little box up at the top is going to say that we estimated that bill. We are also going to be putting a Facebook post now that we have our Facebook page. And if we have estimated any bills or whatever, we'll give the reason why. And we'll say, you know, what area it is or what bill cycle it is, and to please share the information with your family and friends. And, you know, for those of our customers who are on Facebook, it's probably a good idea for them to like our page and follow our page so that when we have those messages that need to go out, they can get them. Okay, so as she just mentioned, the page name is SLEMCO, and y'all can go like it when they post things that's regarding to the bills and weather reports. So lots of the residents asks how is the estimating process done? So can you explain that to me? Sure. Okay, so this is one particular bill that we looked at to show how the bill was estimated for the July bill. If you see here, this 1477, that's the number of kilowatt hours that we estimated for that bill. And that was calculated by adding the April, May, and June numbers right here. We added them right here. We got a total. We divided it by 3, and that got to the 1477, which indeed was what was billed here.
So when it comes to reading meters, it is important on our part and your part? Correct.
Just because we read the meter once a month doesn't mean a family can't read it more often. One of the things that happened with this estimated cycle was that we had a lot of customers call in and say, I saw my bill was estimated, it was lower than I thought it would be, so I went and took a reading. Can you check and see, you know, whether or not I need to pay a little more on this bill or save up for next month? And so what we would do was we would ask them to give us a current meter reading, and we would calculate and see where they were, literally based on and compared to what their estimation was. And so we had a lot of customers that called in and maybe sent in X amount of dollars ahead of time because they knew that the next bill to catch up would be more, or some would say, well, I'm going to set that aside and send it next month. But again, just because we read the meter once a month doesn't mean a family can't figure out how much electricity they want to use. And it's easy. You get a little notebook and a pen, and then you read the meter once a day. It's just a number, and you subtract one from the other, and you see how many kilowatt hours you're using in a day. And what that does is if you see it spike, whether it's late in the summer or hot in the summer or cold in the winter, or you know, maybe it's not cold or hot but you have an equipment malfunction. If you've gotten into the habit of reading your meter every day and you know you're, let's say, 60 or 70 kilowatt hours a day, whatever your average is, and then all of a sudden you spike to way over 100, you know something's wrong. And so then you can kind of become a detective and figure out what's going on way before you get a high bill and have to pay for that bill. You can kind of nip it in the bud right away And you can also teach your kids or your grandkids or whoever's at the house, you know, my bill's going up, you need to make sure you turn the thermostat up and leave it there, or we're not going to bake in the middle of the summer, or whatever. Every family's in control of their bill, and we used to say a long time ago, the meter tells all, and it really does. If you read that meter and take advantage of the information that the meter gives you, you can really save a lot of money on your bill.
So most people don't believe they are read meters because they don't see someone walking in their yard going read the meters. So is that the way I read meters, or how do you read meters?
Well, used to every month somebody walked to every house and actually read the meter. But you have people walking through people's yard, you have meter readers walking through people's yards, or we have dogs that bite people that are going to read the meters and that kind of thing. So we have upgraded to new equipment through the years, and the way we read meters now is it's a handheld piece of equipment, and the meter readers actually drive to read the meters. They don't get down at every house. They actually can read up to about a quarter of a mile away, and multiple meters can be read at one time. And they capture the information, and then in the afternoon they come back, and in the office here they download all that information, and that's how the meters are read. That way people can lock their gates, they can know that nobody's going back in their yards or looking around their house or going through their front yard or whatever, and they can leave their dog in the backyard. It's much safer for everybody. It's safer for the homeowner, and it's safer for our employees. So that's how we read the meters now.
All right, so Ms. Mary, before we end the interview, do you have anything you'd like to touch base on or tell the community of me or anybody else about this?
Nothing other than I want to make sure everybody knows that, you know, the people that work here are human, and, you know, when we make a mistake or don't do things quite the way we should, we're always good about owning up to that and making it right. And if anybody ever has any question about their bill or the way we do anything or why we do anything the way that we do it, we welcome you to call or to come by or to reach out to us on our Facebook page and message us or whatever. Because we're a co-op, we're different than, we feel, because we're a co-op, we're different than most other utility companies. We're more like a family because it's a member-owned co-op. And we have nothing to gain by charging anybody more than anybody else or anything like that. So we welcome the opportunity to set the record straight and to make sure that everybody knows we're here. And when the you know what hits the fan and the power goes out, we put our families second, and we come here and we restore power. And that's our duty, and we would do it again. And we have a few little things that we would tweak, you know, next go around, but we're putting the power back on is going to always be our main goal.
Thank you, Ms. Mary, for your time, and y'all do not forget to go like, if you haven't, like the SLEMCO page. That is the most reliable source to get updates on bill changes and whether
or outages or anything like that.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Mary, and everyone. Have a good afternoon.